Most people see their salary merely as a means of survival, a way to pay the bills at the end of the month and keep basic needs in check. This is a limiting mindset that keeps us trapped in the cycle of scarcity. The truly wealthy, as Robert Kiyosaki teaches, view their salary as a powerful tool for wealth building. When you receive your monthly paycheck, what is your first thought? Which bills do I need to pay? Or how can I make this money work for me? The difference between these two questions is what separates those who struggle financially from those who achieve freedom. The first and most fundamental step on your journey toward financial independence is to radically transform how you perceive money. Not as an end, but as a means. Not as something to be spent, but as a seed to be planted and cultivated. This mindset shift does not happen overnight. It requires a constant commitment to questioning learned patterns, often ingrained since childhood. Ask yourself, what did I learn about money from my family? Are these beliefs helping or limiting me? The wealthy know that money is energy. It flows where there is attention and strategy. When you begin to see your salary as an investment tool rather than just a means of survival, you take the first step toward escaping the rat race that Kiyosaki frequently mentions in his books. Remember, the poor work for money, while the rich make money work for them. And it all starts with this simple yet profound shift in perspective. I don't earn enough to invest. Investing is for people who already have money. It's impossible to get rich with my salary. These statements are more than just negative thoughts. They are concrete mental barriers that hinder your financial growth. A scarcity mindset is like an invisible prison. It makes you focus on what you lack instead of leveraging what you already have. Even with a modest salary, there are always opportunities for those willing to see them. The problem isn't the amount on your paycheck, but how you perceive your financial reality. Instead of telling yourself, I don't have enough money, start asking, what can I do with what I already have? This shift in perspective opens doors you never even imagined existed. Remember, abundance begins first in your mind before manifesting in your bank account. Kiyosaki emphasizes that people with a scarcity mindset are always waiting for the perfect moment to start investing. A raise, an inheritance, winning the lottery. Meanwhile, those with an abundance mindset start with what they have, even if it's just a few coins a day. The uncomfortable truth is that there will never be a perfect moment. If you can't invest with $1,000 a month, you won't know how to invest with $10,000 either. The ability to generate wealth is not related to the initial amount, but to the capacity to see opportunities where others see limitations. Notice how many immigrants arrive in foreign countries with nothing and manage to build significant wealth. It's not luck. It's the abundance mindset in action, the unwavering belief that there is always a way, even when all signs point to the contrary. The secret of the truly prosperous is not relying solely on a salary, no matter how high it is. The wealthy use their monthly income strategically as a springboard to create multiple sources of income. Imagine your salary not as your final destination, but as the initial fuel for a wealth-generating machine. Every paycheck you receive contains the potential to become something greater when directed correctly. Even small monthly investments, $100, $200 or $500, can, through the power of compound interest and consistency, grow into substantial sums. Over 5, 10 or 15 years. Your salary is not your limit, it is merely your starting point. Use it as leverage to build wealth, not just to survive until the next month. This is one of Kiyosaki's most important lessons. Your job buys your time, but your investments buy your freedom. Think of your salary as a temporary tool, not as your only source of sustenance for life. True financial security comes from diversifying your income sources. Consider the story of Maria, a teacher who earned a modest salary. Instead of just paying bills, she religiously set aside 20% of her salary every month. In the first few years, the accumulated amount seemed insignificant. But after a decade of consistently investing in small businesses, rental properties, and stocks, her passive income surpassed her salary. Today, Maria works by choice, not necessity. Kiyosaki himself started by selling nylon wallets while still employed. The money was little, but his mindset was that of an entrepreneur. He reinvested his profits, learned from mistakes, and gradually expanded. His salary covered basic expenses, while his small ventures grew until they became his main source of wealth. Remember, the rich do not accumulate wealth by working more hours. They multiply their impact by making money work for them. Your salary is just the seed. What you plant with it determines the abundance of your financial harvest in the future. The key is to allocate part of your salary to acquiring assets, things that put money in your pocket instead of liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket. With each paycheck, ask yourself, how can I turn part of this money into an income source that will continue generating value even while I sleep? This is the true secret of the rich. They make their salary work so hard that eventually they no longer need it. And the most incredible part, anyone can start this process today, regardless of their paycheck amount. One truth many ignore: it's not so much about how much you earn, but how you spend it. There are bankrupt doctors and middle-income employees who accumulate considerable wealth. The difference lies in financial control. Every reel wasted on impulsive purchases is a reel that could be working for you through investments. The daily coffee, the subscriptions you barely use, the impulse buys, these small leaks in your finances could be sabotaging your future. Do an honest exercise. Analyze your bank statements from the last 3 months and identify unnecessary expenses. You will probably be surprised at how much money slips through your fingers without you realizing it. Cutting these wasteful expenses doesn't mean living a life of deprivation, but making conscious choices that prioritize your long-term financial freedom. Kiyosaki often says that most people don't have an income problem, but a spending control problem. We see professionals who earn very well, but live in debt because they increase their lifestyle with every salary raise. This is called lifestyle creep. The tendency to increase spending in proportion to earnings, keeping oneself constantly at the financial limit. Consider the case of Carlos and Andrew, both engineers at the same company, with identical salaries. Carlos lives in a luxury apartment, drives a brand new car, and dines at expensive restaurants every weekend. Andrew chose a smaller apartment, maintains an older but functional car, and prioritizes experiences over material possessions. After 10 years, Carlos is still living paycheck to paycheck, while Andrew has accumulated significant investments and is close to financial independence. Spending control requires brutal honesty with yourself. Before each purchase, ask, does this bring me closer to or further from my financial freedom? Often we spend impulsively, emotionally, or to impress people who don't even care about our financial situation. Establish a spending tracking system that works for you, whether it's an app, a spreadsheet, or a notebook. The important thing is to be aware of where your money is going. Categorize your expenses and identify areas where you can save without sacrificing your quality of life. Remember that controlling expenses is not just about cutting costs, but making strategic choices. Sometimes spending more on a quality item that lasts for years is more economical than repeatedly buying cheap ones. True savings come from long-term vision, not financial short-sightedness. This is a simple but powerful principle that can completely transform your relationship with money. Before spending on anything, set aside 30% of your salary into 3 equal parts. 10% of your salary for savings. This is your emergency fund, a financial cushion that will give you peace of mind to face unforeseen events without going into debt. Do not touch this money unless it is absolutely necessary. 10% for investments. This amount will be exclusively allocated to acquiring assets that will generate passive income in the future: stocks, real estate funds, small businesses, or any application that makes your money work for you. 10% for personal development. This is the part that many forget, but Kiyosaki considers essential. Invest in yourself. Courses, books, mentorships, and tools that increase your ability to generate income. The power of this system lies in discipline and consistency. In the beginning, these percentages may seem small, almost insignificant. If you earn $3,000 per month, setting aside $300 for each of these categories may not seem like much. However, by the end of the first year, you will have $3,600 in savings, $3,600 in investments plus returns, and $3,600 in knowledge. The most impressive aspect is the cumulative effect over time. After 5 years maintaining the same income, you will have $18,000 in savings, more than $20,000 in investments, considering modest returns, and a significant amount of knowledge that has likely increased your earning potential. The 30% rule works for any income level. Whether you earn $1,500 or $15,000, the principle remains the same. The key is to start now with what you have instead of waiting for the ideal moment, which never comes. Many people ask, but how will I live on 70% of my salary? The answer is simple: by adapting, cutting unnecessary expenses, renegotiating debts, and seeking additional sources of income. It is a temporary adjustment that brings permanent benefits. Having a solid emergency fund is like having a financial shield that protects you from life's uncertainties. Kiyosaki emphasizes that this reserve separates people who fall into debt cycles from those who maintain stability even during tough times. When unexpected events happen, and they always do most, people turn to credit cards, personal loans, or ask family for help. Each of these options has negative consequences: high interest rates, financial stress, and dependence on others. With an emergency fund, you remain in control of your financial life, even in the most challenging situations. Start small, but start today. Even if it's just $50 or $100 per month, the important thing is to create the habit. Set an initial goal of saving enough to cover 3 months of your essential expenses: rent, food, transportation, and basic bills. Once you reach this milestone, gradually expand it to 6 months or even a year. Keep your emergency fund in highly liquid, low-risk investments. You need quick access to these funds when necessary. Do not fall into the temptation of using this money for higher return investments or planned purchases. As the name suggests, it is an emergency fund, not a savings account for personal desires. The psychological power of having a financial reserve is immense. You begin making decisions based on strategy rather than desperation. You can evaluate career opportunities without the paralyzing fear of running out of money. You can negotiate better in financial transactions because you are not pressured by immediate need. This sense of security is one of the first concrete steps toward true financial freedom. Remember, your peace of mind has a price, and it is paid through discipline and planning. Every deposit into your emergency fund is not an expense, it is an investment in your well-being and your ability to thrive even in times of crisis. Letting your money sit idle in a checking account or even in a traditional savings account is one of the biggest financial mistakes you can make. In practice, with inflation, your money is losing value every day. Kiyosaki is clear. Investing is not an option for those who want to build wealth, it is an absolute necessity. Many people delay investing because they believe they need large sums to start. This is a dangerous myth. Today's financial market offers countless opportunities. For small investors, you can start with $50, $100, or whatever amount you can set aside monthly. What matters most is not how much you invest initially, but the consistency and discipline of investing regularly. Diversifying your investments is crucial. Kiyosaki suggests a balanced approach across different asset classes. Fixed income, government, bonds, certificates of deposit, CDs, and other low-risk investments offer security and predictability. They are excellent for beginners and serve as a foundation for your investment portfolio. Don't expect extraordinary returns, but rather capital protection with earnings better than a savings account. Variable income, stocks, ETFs, and real estate funds have greater long-term growth potential. Although they show more short-term volatility, historically they provide superior returns. Start with small positions and gradually increase them as your experience and confidence grow. Real assets, rental properties, small business ownership, or commodity investments can protect your wealth from inflation and diversify beyond traditional financial markets. The power of compound interest is what turns small investments into great wealth over time. Einstein called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. When you reinvest the returns from your investments, creating interest on interest, the growth becomes exponential. Consider this example. By investing just $500 per month, with an average annual return of 10%, perfectly achievable with a well-diversified portfolio, in 30 years, you will have accumulated over $1 million. Increasing it to $1,000 per month, the result will exceed $2 million. This is the power of time and consistency working in your favor. Kiyosaki also emphasizes the importance of financial education before and during your investment journey. Don't invest in what you don't understand. Take the time to study each type of investment, its risks and potential returns. Start with the basics and gradually expand your knowledge. Remember that investing is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. Don't be seduced by promises of quick riches or once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. The best results come from patience, discipline, and a consistent strategy over the years. For many people, the biggest barrier is not financial, but psychological. The fear of losing money paralyzes millions of potential investors, keeping them trapped in the false security of savings accounts. Understand that temporary losses are part of the process, and with proper diversification and a long-term outlook, gains will far outweigh losses. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Your first investment, no matter how small, represents a fundamental shift in your relationship with money. You stop being just a consumer and become an owner, an investor, someone who makes money work for you instead of just working for money. If I told you that there is an investment capable of bringing you the greatest returns of your life, one that no one can take away from you and that continues to yield forever, would you believe it? This investment is not in the stock market, real estate, or even cryptocurrencies. It's within you. The greatest asset you can have is your knowledge. And the best part? It appreciates over time. Unlike a car that loses value the moment it leaves the dealership, or a smartphone that becomes obsolete after a few years. Wealthy people understand that before making more money, they need to learn to think like wealthy people. And this only happens when you invest in your own growth. Now stop and think. If someone deposited $1 million into your account today, would you know exactly what to do with that money to multiply it? Or would you end up spending it all in just a few years? If your answer is, I don't know, that's already a sign that financial knowledge might be missing from your life. What separates a millionaire from an average person is not luck, but how they learn to manage money and use their skills to create opportunities. Many people go through life believing that working hard is enough to become rich. But if that were true, construction workers who toil under the sun all day would be millionaires, and teachers who dedicate their entire lives to education wouldn't face financial struggles. Hard work is important, but without financial intelligence and personal growth, it only keeps you stuck in the same cycle. True millionaires don't just work, they learn. They invest time and money to increase their value in the market. And you can do the same. But here comes the most common excuse: I don't have money to invest in knowledge. Now be honest with yourself. How much have you spent on things that didn't really need to be in your life? A dinner out, a new outfit you wore only a few times, a top-of-the-line smartphone that does almost the same as the previous one? Now, compare that to the price of a book on financial education or an online course that can teach you a new skill. Which one is truly more valuable? Investing in knowledge doesn't mean spending a fortune on expensive colleges. You can start now with what you have. Read books on finance, business, and personal development. Watch educational videos. Take free online courses. Listen to podcasts about entrepreneurship. Learn skills that can generate extra income for you. Each new piece of knowledge opens doors to new opportunities. And the more you know, the more valuable you become in the market, and the more money you can earn. Now, think with me, when was the last time you invested in yourself? If your answer is, I don't remember, that might be the reason your financial life hasn't changed yet. Do you want to stay in the same place, or do you want to take the first step toward a more prosperous financial life? The choice is yours. If you want to get rich, you need to understand one of the most important rules of money: the difference between assets and liabilities. This is one of the key lessons taught by Robert Kiyosaki, and those who learn it can change their financial life forever. Let's get straight to the point. Assets are everything that puts money in your pocket. Liabilities are everything that takes money out of your pocket. It sounds simple, but many people go their whole lives without realizing this difference, and that's why they never get out of financial struggles. Now, think about how most people spend their money. When they get their paycheck, many rush to buy things that seem like symbols of wealth: a new car, the latest smartphone, expensive clothes, a financed apartment. But guess what? Most of these things are liabilities. They don't grow your money. On the contrary, they drain your pocket every month. Take the example of a car. You might think it's an asset, but if it doesn't generate money for you, it's a liability. Besides the purchase price, it requires fuel, insurance, maintenance, and taxes. Every year it loses value in the market, and you have to spend more to keep it. Now, if that same car is used for work, like passenger transport or deliveries, it can become an asset because it generates income. Now let's look at the other side: assets. Assets are investments that make your money work for you. Examples: rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, real estate investment funds, a business that generates profit without your constant effort. These are the real wealth builders. The problem is that many people think they're building wealth when they're actually just accumulating liabilities. And the worst part, the more you earn, the greater the temptation to buy liabilities disguised as wealth. You've probably seen people who make a lot of money but live in debt because they spend everything on things that only drain their finances. If you want to get rich, start changing your mindset now. Before buying anything, ask yourself a simple question: will this put money in my pocket or take money out? If it takes money out, think twice before spending. If it puts money in, you're on the right track. True wealth doesn't come from how much you earn, but from how you use your money. So next time you have money in hand, make a smart decision. Choose assets, avoid liabilities, and take control of your financial future. Now tell me, what have you been accumulating in your life? Assets or liabilities? Many people delay investing and improving their financial life because they believe they need a lot of money to start. This is one of the biggest mistakes that prevent people from getting rich. The truth is, you don't. have to wait for a big paycheck to take the first step. The most important thing is not the initial amount, but the habit you create. Think about the gym. If you want to get in shape, there's no point in working out just one day and expecting miraculous results. What really makes a difference is consistency, training a little every day, even if it's just for 20 minutes. The same goes for your finances. If you wait until you have extra money to invest or save, that day will never come. But if you start now with small amounts, your money will begin to grow over time. Many people look at millionaire investors and think they were always rich. But what almost no one realizes is that most of them started with very little. The secret is discipline. Imagine committing to investing just $50 per month. It may seem small at first, but over the years that amount grows with compound interest and can turn into a surprising sum. Moreover, the habit of investing and saving changes your mindset. You start seeing opportunities where you once saw limitations. Small adjustments in your daily life, like avoiding unnecessary expenses and prioritizing investments, make a huge difference in the long run. So, stop waiting for the right moment to take care of your finances. The right moment is now. It doesn't matter if you start with $10, $100, or $1,000. The most important thing is to start and maintain discipline. Small daily steps can completely transform your financial life. If there is one truth that separates the rich from the poor, it is this. It is not how much you earn that determines your financial future, but what you do with the money you already have. How many times have you heard stories of people who earn high salaries but live in debt? Or on the contrary, people who started from scratch with low wages and became financially independent. This happens because getting rich is not a matter of luck or having a high salary. It's about smart financial habits. If you don't know how to manage $1,000, you won't know how to manage $10,000 or $100,000. Those who never learn to control small amounts will never be able to handle large sums properly. Now think carefully, how have you been managing your money so far? If you keep spending the way you do today, will your financial life improve or worsen in the coming years? This is an important question because your answer determines your financial future. Most people work hard to earn money but never learn how to make money work for them. They believe that if they earned a higher salary, everything would be solved. But the truth is, without financial discipline, no matter how much you earn, the money will always disappear. That's why, if you want to build wealth, the first step is to change your mindset. Think like an investor, not like a consumer. Before spending, ask yourself, will this bring me closer to financial independence or push me further away? If the money leaves your pocket and never comes back, you're just financing someone else's lifestyle, like banks, stores, and companies. The rich don't rely solely on their salaries. They use what they earn to create new sources of income. They invest, buy assets, and make money work for them. They don't spend everything on temporary things, but build something lasting. And now comes the most important question. What will you do with the knowledge you just gained? You can simply close this video and continue living as before, or you can make a decision right now and completely change your financial life. The secret isn't in big steps, but in small, consistent changes. Now that you know the 10 steps to getting rich with your salary, it's time to take action. Choose at least one of these steps and start today. Time will pass anyway. The difference is whether you will stay in the same place or move toward financial freedom. When people think about getting rich, they immediately think of financial investments, stocks, real estate, funds, and so on. However, one of the most powerful secrets to building wealth is often forgotten: investing in yourself. This is an essential step for anyone who wants to achieve financial success, and it's something you can start doing today without needing a large initial capital. Investing in your own growth means improving your skills, increasing your knowledge, and expanding your capabilities. This doesn't just involve formal courses or university education, but also reading books, attending workshops, undergoing practical training, and even developing new competencies that can enhance your productivity and value in the job market. For example, if you work in a specific field such as sales, finance, or marketing, learning more about your area and pursuing additional certifications can open doors to new job opportunities, promotions, or even your own business. A highly qualified professional is always more valued, and the demand for them tends to grow. This translates into more opportunities and, of course, higher financial gains. But don't think that personal growth is limited to technical skills. Mental and emotional growth are also essential. The way you handle challenges, how you stay organized, how you set goals, and how you maintain focus on your objectives can be the key to success. Many people fail, not because they lack talent or technical knowledge, but because they don't know how to stay disciplined, motivated, and resilient in the face of difficulties. The good news is that this type of investment is accessible to everyone. Books, podcasts, online courses, and even mentorships and coaching are resources that can be acquired at affordable prices, and they are powerful tools for improving both your personal and professional life. Investing in yourself is something that never loses value. And unlike other types of assets, this investment tends to grow over time, bringing increasingly greater returns. Now, think for a moment. How much time do you dedicate to your own development? How much do you invest in acquiring new knowledge or improving your skills? The more you invest in yourself, the more you create the conditions to generate wealth. It's not just about improving your professional performance, but also about becoming more confident, more capable, and better prepared to handle the opportunities and challenges that arise throughout life. Investing in your own growth is not a choice, it's a necessity. By doing so, you create a solid foundation on which you can build your financial freedom. So, start today. Set aside time to study something, learn a skill, or improve an area of your life. The more you grow, the more your financial future expands. When it comes to achieving financial independence and building wealth, understanding the difference between assets and liabilities is crucial. This concept is one of the foundations of financial thinking that Robert Kiyosaki, author of the famous book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, advocates. It may seem simple at first, but the way you handle your assets and liabilities can be the key to transforming your financial life. What are assets? They are anything that generates money for you. These are sources of income that help your wealth grow over time. Examples of assets include rental properties, investments in stocks or real estate funds, owning your own business, or even a well-structured investment portfolio. In other words, assets are things that make your money work for you. When you invest in assets, you are creating income streams that will generate more money without requiring you to work harder. Now, what are liabilities? Liabilities are things that make your money leave your pocket. These are expenses, debts, or investments that, instead of generating income, consume your money. Examples of liabilities include luxury cars with high interest payments, credit card, debt, expensive financing, or even certain types of purchases that provide no financial return. In short, liabilities are what make your money disappear. Many people have the false idea that owning valuable things, such as a house or a new car, is a sign of wealth. But in reality, these can be financial traps if you don't understand how they affect your cash flow. A house purchased with a high mortgage or a car financed with high interest rates can become liabilities because they require monthly payments that drain your finances instead of generating profit or income. Here's the key point. It's not about how much you earn, but what you own and how you manage it. If you spend all your money on liabilities, you will be stuck in a cycle of debt and financial struggles. On the other hand, if you invest in assets that generate more money, you are on the right path to financial freedom. How can you apply this in your daily life? A good practice is to start analyzing your expenses and purchases from this perspective. Ask yourself, is what I'm buying an asset or a liability? If the answer is a liability, you should think twice before spending. Instead, try investing that money in something that will generate returns, such as stocks, real estate, or your own business. It's not easy, as shifting your focus from consuming to investing requires discipline, patience, and a new way of thinking. But by understanding the difference between assets and liabilities, you begin to see the financial world in a completely new way. By prioritizing assets over liabilities, you start building your own financial safety net, which will help you achieve financial freedom and eventually wealth. Now ask yourself, what do you currently have in your life that can be considered an asset? And what are your liabilities that you could eliminate or transform? This is a powerful step toward taking control of your financial life and ensuring you are on the right path to prosperity. Many people, when thinking about getting rich, believe they need a large sum of money to start investing. But the truth is, the perfect time to start building wealth is now, and it doesn't matter if you have little or a lot. The key is to take the first step and develop the habit of saving, investing, and growing financially, even with small amounts. It's normal to feel like you don't have enough money to start a major investment or make any significant change in your financial life. But this mindset is one of the biggest barriers to growth. Wealth is not built all at once, but over time, through small and consistent actions that add up and multiply. And the best part is that you can start with any amount, even if it's just a small portion of your salary. The secret is not how much you have now, but how you act with what you have. Many people wait until they have enough to take the first step, but meanwhile, time passes. The biggest mistake you can make is waiting for the right moment. If you wait for the perfect time to start saving or investing, it will never come. So the sooner you start, the better. Imagine you start setting aside just $100 from your salary each month to invest in something that generates returns. It may seem like a small amount, but over a year, that turns into $200. If you continue this habit for a few more years, that amount will grow and generate more money until you have a significant sum of assets working for you. The important thing is to get used to investing regularly, regardless of the amount. Small, consistent steps are what transform people's financial lives. Another important point is that by starting now, you will be developing the habit of prosperity. Wealth doesn't just come from making the right financial decisions. It comes from a mindset of continuous growth. When you start acting now, you begin to see the impact of your financial choices and learn from your mistakes. This creates a virtuous cycle where you become more disciplined, wiser, and more capable of seizing opportunities as they arise over time. Additionally, starting early allows you to benefit from the power of compound interest. By investing regularly, you create a multiplying effect on your money. In the long run, the difference that compound interest can make is impressive. This means that the sooner you start, the more you will have in the future. And not only that, but your money will be working for you while you sleep. Starting with little is no excuse not to start. On the contrary, it's an advantage. It allows you to build a strong, low-risk foundation that can be expanded as you gain more confidence and control over your finances. And as your financial situation improves, you can increase your investments and explore new opportunities that will generate even more wealth. For many, the biggest obstacle to getting started is the fear of not knowing what to do or where to invest. This is perfectly normal, But the good news is that today there are many accessible resources for those who want to learn. You can start with simple and safe investments, such as index funds, government bonds, or even private retirement plans. The important thing is to take the first step and then deepen your knowledge as you grow. So remember, don't wait until you have a lot to start investing or changing your financial life. Start now with what you have and build your wealth consistently and with discipline. Financial success doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with the decision to take that first step. What can you start doing today with what you have? Maybe it's setting aside a small portion of your salary, researching investments, or learning more about managing your expenses. Whatever your next step is, remember that starting now is the key to transforming your financial life over time. So, what did you think of these steps to change your financial life? Remember, the important thing is to start now, no matter the size of your salary. If you found these tips useful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. And if you know someone who needs to hear this advice, share this video with them. Together we can build a better financial future.